Alan Lloyd asks me how we can use enterprise architecture to counter market hype. Now, by market hype we mean things like the dreaded buzzwords like blockchain, bimodal IT, digital transformation. We've all heard the buzzwords. Are they actually any use? And if they're not, how can we use them? How can we mitigate against them? The real problem here is what we unkindly describe as in-flight strategy, which is where some senior executive says, "This is the future, I read it in an in-flight magazine." What we need is to cross-check this to reality. On the one side, we need to cross-check it to the enterprise's identity, the organisation's big picture purpose within that global space. So we need to check against the enterprise story. Will bimodal IT help us improve with the way we're interacting with the big picture story? Does this fancy idea of digital transformation, how would this actually help in connecting to the big picture vision of, for example, Ted's vision of ideas worth spreading? What would digital transformation look like, and how would it actually help the story? If we can't answer that in a supportive way with enterprise architecture, or rather if our enterprise architecture doesn't support that, then we probably shouldn't be chasing after this fancy new piece of hype. On the other side, we want to do a cross-check to execution, to capabilities. Do we actually have the ability to do this fancy new change? What impact would it have? What change would it make? Are people likely to be able to go along with the change? And would it actually put us at risk by cannibalizing from other areas? So this is where we really need to look at things like dynamics, the change, the rate of change, the skills that we have to do this, and what the trade-offs are. And this is where tools like Wardley maps come in, because they show us the dynamics of how the whole market is changing, how a whole technology is changing, is moving from highly bespoke through to just commodity. If something is becoming a commodity, we should not be building it bespoke. So our enterprise architecture looks at the whole picture, looking upward to the big picture story, the enterprise story, the purpose and the way our organisation is interacting in that space, and what advantage, if any, this new piece of hype could give us. On the other side, going down towards reality, we're looking at the dynamics, the trade-offs. What impact would this really have compared to the capabilities that we have available, or that we would have to create in order to follow up this piece of hype? So there are quite a few ways we can use an enterprise architecture to get a sense of how some piece of marketing puff might actually be or not be useful in the way our organisation operates.